Yo, what is happening, guys? It's KrebsCOHO here, and today we're going to be doing a Company of Heroes replay. How are you guys getting along? It's a very sunny day over here in Scotland at the moment. Wow, sun, blue skies. This is so strange indeed. I think the world is changing or something, and there's actually sun over here. If anything, there's only snow and rain, and whenever you get the sun, people start burning outside. So anyway, guys, I hope you're all doing very, very well. Krebs is doing just dandy. We're going to be doing a 2 vs 2 today on McGechaen's War. We haven't done this map in a wee while, so that's why we're going to be heading on back into it. Let's go take a look at the players today that we're going to be looking at. So, over on the ally side, we've got a Brit and American, one going by the name of Fanity SO3 as the American, and the Brit is going to be BF3 Endgame. That is Battlefield 3 Endgame, and if I got that right, I think Endgame is meant to be an expansion that's going to be coming out for Battlefield 3. I think so. I don't know. I haven't played Battlefield 3 in ages. Whatever happened to that game? Do you guys still play that? I don't know. I really liked it for the first few months, and then I just didn't bother. I got a bit bored, and I never bought the DLCs. That's just me. So let's take a look at down south. We've got the Wehrmacht aSIILineStardust, aSIIGhostDivision. Has both the Wehrmacht. So at the 5-second mark, and am I talking too fast here? We're at the 5-second mark, and we're going to be getting started in 3 seconds. So in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and on we go to another very exciting matchup in the Company of Heroes battlefield. We've already got some symbols, characters coming down from a foreign language. Is that Chinese? Does anyone here speak Chinese? Because I think it's usually the Chinese symbols that are more complicated looking than the other Asian languages. At least I think so, and if I got it totally wrong, then oh well. Ignorance is bliss. So what we've got for the Wehrmacht, we've got 2 pioneers already putting down the Wehrmacht quarters, which in my opinion is a little bit unusual. Usually people just build Wehrmacht quarters with 1 pioneer, and whenever they do that, especially 2 of them, they got some sort of strategy going down. Usually if they're building it so fast, you wouldn't have that much manpower surplus, so you couldn't build that much. Usually you just like rush out a fast motorcycle or something. But let's go take a look at what they're building, okay? Ghost Division, he's got an MG coming out. I'm guessing this is going to be an MG as well. No, it's a Volk squad coming out of there. And so they've invested in those rather than sort of harassing units like the motorcycles. Let's go take a look what else is going on along the field. By the way, since before the action gets started, a few of you have been asking when is Company of Heroes 2 beta going to start. I have no idea. Please don't ask me. I'm sure that Relic is hard at work. The Company of Heroes 2 beta was supposed to be out pretty much exactly a month ago if everything came into plan with THQ and Relic, but obviously there was that swap over and the transaction, and now Sega owns it, blah blah blah. I'm sure they're hard at work. We're gonna get it soon. So we've got the infantry section over here capping this fuel point, and the Bren carrier and the Jeep also harassing these pioneers. Let's go take a look at the map, and the reason why the Brits are capping this +10 point is because the only +10 points on the map are along the left-hand side of the map. A little slice of heaven for you. Heaven for you, thank you! Heaven for me today! You guys are so kind. Usually I get no heaven. The majority of the important points are along the left-hand side of this map. If you look on the right-hand side, there's only low points, and that's why the tendency of this map is to fight along the left-hand side and also the center, where it's more open. Whereas on the right-hand side, since there's so many low points and it's not as crucial, then usually you get the scraps and leftovers of the factions going over there. So your pioneers, your engineers, Ket and Krebs, whatever. You don't got usually major skirmishes going on along that side, unless it's going to be some sort of tactical strategies like flanking and the like. Mortar are trying to be put down at the moment by this infantry section here, but the MG on the motorcycle taking it out. Funnily enough, one of the best ways of actually destroying... Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Being blocked. One of the best ways of actually destroying a mortar emplacement or anything that's being built by the Brits is actually a motorcycle, because the bullets that come out of it are so rapid. The succession of damage that the mortar takes, or any of the placements, is rapid enough that probably you could destroy very, very quickly. 1 is sufficient, 2 would just annihilate straight away. Break here, having to retreat on back here. We've got the engineers in the back trying to support this engagement here because it's becoming a little bit desperate. The Brits have placed down their HQ right at the very back of this sector, and they've locked it down. But notice how the HQ is behind hedges, getting some protection here. But you can see that there's a big amalgamation of guys. It's like a soup pot right now, a variety of units. One Jeep going down, and that was the armor trying to get away. The light armor, the Jeeps scurrying away, the Brand carrier scurrying away. Surprisingly, was it actually this Brand carrier that was very badly damaged? I think it might have been, because I doubt it would have been this one if it's backed up to full health. Must have been that one. It was getting repaired on up, and now they've got 2 Brand carriers. But look at what's going down. This is one of the last things that you actually want to happen to you when you're playing as Brits, to be locked and pinned into your base. At least these guys are back here and not farther on back. Oh geez, already being suppressed on down. But the last thing you want is to be suppressed in your base, especially with a location like this. There's nowhere to move around. You're sort of locked into moving one direction. Brits trying to retaliate by getting down a mortar emplacement here, and there comes another motorcycle, damaging it very, very fast. This MG, unfortunately, the placement of the HQ right in front of it has denied this MG sight to actually shoot on forward, but also, not only that, it's because the MG range isn't long enough. And so we've got vehicles going on down for the Brits, mortar emplacements going down, an MG in place, MG nest that was supposed to be put up going down as well. Unfortunately, the MG, I believe, taking that one out. And so whilst this has all gone along, look at the rest of the map. It's pretty much uncontested. Nobody's capping it. The Wehrmacht are so desperate to have their pioneers over on this side of the map because they need all arms that they can possibly throw at the Brits right now. They probably realize if we can destroy the Brits here, this could be a big setback for them. So that's why they're trying to get all their men over here. They've got the flamethrowers upgraded on them, starting to damage these this headquarters, because the MGs unfortunately aren't going to be enough to actually take it out. Unless the headquarters is actually packed up and mobile, then the MG won't actually be doing that much damage. Yes, when it's packed up, it does plenty and plenty of damage. Yes, and more foreign language. I have no idea what they're saying. Hopefully you guys won't mind this, but yeah, they're just talking to each other. Left-hander at the back here. Very close to dying. All these guys moving on from the backside, going to be coming in for a flank of some sorts. I guess they want to take out the machine gun emplacement, I believe, or maybe they just want to take out the leftover guys. The rest of the map just still pretty much uncapped with the Pioneers, one single Pioneer squad capping along the right-hand side, which is good. I like seeing that. Sometimes you have to take advantage not only of the battle. I mean, sure, you need all the arms you can possibly get to take on your opponent in a battle, but sometimes just taking advantage of the fact that nothing else is going on around the field, nobody else is present around the field, your enemy isn't there, then you can use a stray Pioneer, just, you know, take him out of the battle, go cap along the sides that are uncontested at the moment, and that gives you a major boost in terms of resources, because you capture those resources whilst your opponent was stuck in their base defending. HQ about to go down here, Pioneers unleashing the flames out on this, and that's going to be it, pretty much gone. So unfortunately, the hope of the Allies to actually lock down this area and make a front line has been tarnished. Instead, and I think one of the most crucial things about it is the MGs locking everything on down, preventing them from moving forward. The motorcycles destroying the mortar emplacements and the other whatever emplacements, being harassive, and then using the Flame Pioneers to finish off the buildings. Great combination of units, and that's exactly what you need to make a comeback here. Brand carrier on the low at the moment against the motorcycle, and the motorcycle needs to probably be careful now because he's outgunned simply. Whether he's going to realize it, who knows. Down over here we've got a Jeep, don't know why, because he can. I guess maybe he's scouting. I guess he's scouting. You know, that's the sort of funny thing, because I think, who is it that's the Asian people? It's aSII, or is it the other guys? Oh god, I wasn't even paying attention to who was speaking the Chinese. If it was Vanity, and hopefully my argument will hold up here. If it was Vanity and BF3 Endgame, which I think it might be, I mean, a very common thing, and if I'm just making a prediction here, a very common thing in other games, RTSs, such as like StarCraft, is to actually... Oh no, it's aSII. Okay, they're the Chinese. But anyway, what I was going to say is that a very common thing in other RTSs, such as StarCraft, is to actually scout out your opponent and see what he has in his base. which is unusual to actually see people do in Company of Heroes, but fair enough. That's not a bad idea, just getting a Jeep on in there, just see what your opponent has. Does he have T2? Is he going up for T3 Storm Armory? Who knows? And that scouting can be invaluable. Of course, you don't want to lose your scout on the back foot when it's coming on back. Anyway, so over in the Americans' base, what we've got is a motor pool, and the Brits, nothing, obviously, because they're moving their stuff around. We've got a motor pool, and so that is the T-17 armored car out, providing a bit of harassment. I personally find that the T-17 isn't the best infantry killer. I think it's very, very inaccurate, from my experience anyway, and I think I probably actually prefer the M8. Let alone the fact that the M8 you can upgrade and get health, whereas for this thing you have to actually earn veterancy to get health on it. Oh no, we got some, yep, stormtroopers cloaked on up, and the Bren carrier, come on, you gotta back off now. It doesn't help the fact that the T-17 is blocking your retreat path. That's annoying. That is well annoying. That is teamwork fail right there. Over on the right hand side we had some Americans going on down, a single squad. But you can still see that the majority of the contesting is still on the left hand side. Observation posted this fuel point by the Wehrmacht, just denying their opponents from grabbing it, and also getting a very dandy +8 manpower income. But it's quite risky in my opinion to actually do that. Yeah, fair enough, you need to lock it down, whatever. But I think it's quite risky to do, because 200 manpower and something on the front line where all the battling's going on, yeah, something tells me that it will just die really quick, as it did. So engineers going on down because of 3 motorcycles. Just over here you can see a wolf pack of them. Volksgrenadiers, what are they doing? I can't really say, to be honest. I guess they were just running around, hoping that they would just dodge some T-17 and airborne. Maybe. I guess. Anyway, VPs are at 431 and 496. 431 for the Wehrmacht, the Axis, and 496 for the Allies. So the Allies obviously in the lead at the moment, crashing on top of a mine here. And that's a destroyed engine, so it's going to be moving really, really slowly. But lucky for them, they got an engineer nearby to repair it. What you'll notice is that when engineers or allies repair their vehicles, they actually repair modules first. I mean, obviously they repair the health, but their modules are repaired quickly, whereas for Wehrmacht, the modules aren't repaired until it's fully repaired, which can be quite a big nuisance, can't it? That's a little tiny, minuscule details that they've added to this game that can actually make a huge impact. So we've got a bit of a Mexican standoff going on at the moment. No side really wants to move in forward. You've got the airborne back here just taking some hot shots, seeing if they can maybe hit these motorcycles. But you know, motorcycles are meant to be evasive. They got modifiers to be evasive, and so they're probably not going to get hit by these airborne too easily from that distance anyway. Not from a long distance. Need a lot of luck to do that. T-17's moving on up along this side. Motorcycles in for the rescue. Why are they going in for the rescue? I have no idea. I guess they're trying to draw the fire, like sort of like rodeo clowns, and a whole bunch of you know, a bull. I guess you guys could think of these T-17s as bulls, and that was the rodeo clowns just trying to get their attention. Packs right on in the back here, sort of clustered together, which I don't really like at the moment. They need to be separated, and I wouldn't doubt if they actually do that. Some naval Werfers out on the field. Let's go take a look at what's going on in bases. So Ghost Division has gone for T1 up to T3, and aSIILineStardust has gone for T1, T2 with Kampfkraft Center. So no doubt, yeah, he's getting infantry veterancy out on his guys over here. So I wouldn't doubt it if he wants to complement that with some, yeah, with his Blitzkrieg. It's kind of an interesting choice to actually go for Blitzkrieg Doctrine, and also go for Grenadiers or T2 Krieg Barracks as well. I mean, there's nothing to say that you can't go for it. I'm just saying what the majority of people do is they don't usually mix the Krieg Barracks and T2 Or the Krieg Barracks and Blitzkrieg together. Usually not, anyway. But fair enough, I guess in order to make the strategy work for them, in their opinion, that's how they want to do it. So 2 motorcycles instantly going down. We've got T-17s rushing on into the base, actually totally disregarding the front line. And this is a bit annoying for the Wehrmacht, if anything, right now, because there's T-17s roaming around in their base, and all the anti-tank, the main hard counters, are on the front line, which they need to be there, but at the same time they need to be at their base to defend it. So the only thing that's going to make a comeback right now are these Panzerschrecks for these Grenadiers and also the Stormtroopers here. But this is a lot of T-17s to deal with. And what we've also got is a Staghound out for the Brits. So let's head on over to BF3 Endgame and start paying attention to what this guy is going to be going on up to. He's got Staghound, so where is his armored command truck? It's at the very back over here on top of that munitions point. Interesting stuff to be getting that, and probably a nice sort of thing to factor into this whole variety of units that the Americans have at the moment. Staghounds being pretty much pure anti-infantry, and you can see there's plenty of infantry on the field. T-17s, they did their job, but now they need to get out. And maximum distance, I believe that was the Panzerfaust, destroying the T-17 that was on retreat here, and the other ones are running away with their lives at the moment. Unfortunately, one T-17 going down. Didn't really seem like they did a whole lot, did they? I mean, they were harassing, being annoying, whatever, but it didn't really seem like they actually had that much success. And I think that's maybe why T-17s can be a little bit annoying. Maybe not to you guys, but to me, T-17s can be a little bit annoying just how inaccurate they can be. Although sometimes I do pick them because I love T-17s for their one unique ability. Phosphorus rounds. Stunning tanks. You cannot stun tanks with any other ability in the American arsenal. So I think it actually complements stuff quite nicely, whereas the M8 can place down mines. Yeah, they're stronger mine than the normal mines, but you can already put down mines anyway, so that's why I tend to go for the T-17 because of that unique ability, the phosphorus rounds. I think it can be very useful in certain situations, especially end game or late game, when your Wehrmacht opponent has gone for a lot of tanks. Panthers, Tigers, whatever. Stun it down, stun it, and then enclose with your ATs or tanks. You can complement the force quite nicely. Alright, so over here we've got the Wehrmacht just trying to hold off against the Brits, the Allies in general, the Allies. But look at all these Staghounds. I think we're going to be sensing a Staghound spam here. And kind of frustrating for the Wehrmacht, if anything, because they've got so much Panzerschrecks and all on infantry. So they're meant to. The Panzerschrecks are obviously meant to counter or hard counters against tanks or just vehicles in general. And these Staghounds are meant to be hard counters against infantry. So it's one hard counter against the next. Captain being very, very lucky to not be killed right there. Oh dear, I think that could have been very bad. We had some Nebelwerfers that are being chased up by the airborne that are retreating currently. That was propaganda war that chased them away. So that means that I believe, if we go on over to aSIIGhostDivision, he's gone for terror doctrine. Staghound's now closing in, finishing off the guys. But at least on the bright side, these Nebelwerfers are dead on the front doors. On the front door of the Wehrmacht. Too bad they can't actually try to finish off these Nebelwerfers right here, because it would be nice to actually just destroy them before they're recaptured. Lucky, lucky stuff for that Staghound. Very lucky stuff. Just retreating with barely any health at all. Oh dear, we had I believe a demolition charge going, or satchel charge going off from the airborne here, finishing off that Nebelwerfer and slightly damaging this bunker over here. So at least that's one Nebelwerfer gone. These guys very, very close to death. And it seems like the battle is just kind of all around the battlefields right now, isn't it? You've got units just in the middle, along the left-hand side, over on the right-hand side. And there we go. Oh man, I know you guys can't hear it at the moment, but I've got my neighbors upstairs playing this freaking music every single day. And it's even worse over the weekends when they're playing it till like 2 in the morning. So frustrating. I wouldn't mind if they played some good music, but it's just beats like dun 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 dun. So off-putting. So anyway, we've got the Staghound just up on it over here. And in terms of teching orders, it doesn't really seem like we're seeing a whole lot at the moment. Let's go take a look at the allies. They've got a triage sensor down, but they're still going to be working with their infantry. And I'm guessing they're T-17s. Do they still have them? T-17s? T-17s? Where art thou, T-17s? Well, I can't really see any T-17s, actually. Oh! Yeah, I don't really see any T-17s. Oh, well. Guess maybe they might have died. But we have plenty of armor out for the Brits, so I suppose on the bright side, at least they're not blobbing up infantry. Plenty of armor out for the Brits, and they're going to be trying to counter all of this infantry, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, all these stags are going to be great at taking on this Grenadier spam, Stormtrooper spam, Panzerschreck spam in general. Oh man, that's the field support truck out. And quite a pesky thing to be doing right there. Sneaky as well. Sometimes it's best to actually just make an indirect assault on your opponent. Sometimes just go straight for the buildings. If you see that there's a gap in their defensive line somewhere, hell, just go on for it. Oh man, Staghound's in a retreat along the same path as the Wehrmacht right here. They want to finish them on retreat. And it doesn't help the fact that this T-17 seems, or this Staghound rather, seems to be sort of delaying their run, blocking their path. Oh man, but their immediate automatic fire means that they're going to be going for a normal squad rather than retreating ones. Pioneers going down, and oh jeez, more stuff dying as well. Only a Grenadier and a Stormtrooper squad getting away from that. So that was a good rundown tactics to just keep on going for your opponent like that. Man, look at this! Look at freaking this! We've got a guy with his head attached inside a Stug. Oh my gosh, that looked absolutely painful. Wow, that looked absolutely dreadingly painful. No heaven for you, airborne. No heaven for you. Man, could you imagine getting your head attached into the treads of a vehicle? Jeez, I guess that's one good tactic to use with your Stug sometimes. Just troll your opponents and just try to crush them as best as you can, and that's what happens right there, crushing a whole bunch of airborne. So it looks like at the moment the Americans, the Allies, having the advantage, killing off a whole bunch of guys, destroying some tanks, taking out the MG, some vital units for the Wehrmacht at the moment. And all these Wehrmacht are coming back with is just infantry, infantry, infantry. I don't think it's the right thing to be doing here. I mean, what else can they do? They need tanks, but these infantry are going to be hard countered by the Stags. Lucky for them, they actually took out that Firefly because it landed on the mine. AT gun charging right into the middle of the squad because they think, hey, we can't aim from far away. We're just going to close on in, close that distance, and we'll shoot you in the belly with a shell, an anti-armor piercing shell. Armor piercing shell. Okay, so we're still moving on up here, but that's way too many tanks to be taken on, or vehicles in general to be taken on. He could have finished off this Staghound probably before getting out of there, but still, you got the Sherman Firefly there, and I guess he wanted to play it safe, keep his Stug alive at the cost of keeping that Staghound alive. Right hand side still pretty much unscathed, isn't it? This is what I was talking about in the beginning of the cast. This side will always be essentially untouched. It will be virgin right on throughout the game, because hardly any skirmishing is going on around here. Staghound's just making his presence known. I guess he's gonna be going for the Volksgrenadiers. Why doesn't he go for the Volksgrenadiers? I don't know. Maybe just a bit of micro fail, probably. And so the Wehrmacht trying to come back onto the field with more infantry. See, more and more infantry, more infantry, more infantry, more infantry. I think we need to start seeing some like Panzer Command stuff. Because how far is this going to take you? I mean, the only time you'll have success with doing the same strategy is if you can outflank him and let them make a mistake. I hope they're not building more pack guns, because as you guys saw, there's plenty of pack guns strewing around the field that could be easily captured, and I believe that's... was that one captured? Krebs isn't paying attention properly. Bunker going on down over here. And everything in full retreat, but still seems like quite a stalemate. I wouldn't say it's like somebody is the definite winner yet. It's been pretty much a stalemate right on throughout the game. It looked like the allies were going to be losing it because they lost their HQ and also a whole bunch of units and emplacements very, very early. That's quite a big loss to take so early on. And maybe then, yeah, fair enough, it looked like it was in the Wehrmacht's hands. But it's been pretty much stalemate since then. People actually have been capping along the right hand side, just harassing as best as they can. But it doesn't exactly mean anything at the moment, because obviously Brits don't need a whole lot of points. The Brits still have plenty of units to be working with here. They've got priests out on the field. Let's head on over to BF3 Endgame, take a look at him. So he's obviously gone for the Royal Artillery, and he's got those priests, 2 of them in fact. That's going to help a lot in dislodging the Wehrmacht forces from the front. Especially these pack guns, Nebelwerfers. You're going to be very good at countering this sort of stuff. As soon as you see these packs firing, you can just easily drop some priests right on top of them. Not only decrew them, but destroy them altogether. That's just what you got to do. So recapping some of the territory that they lost already. 700 manpower saved up for the Brits at the moment. That is a lot to be saving up. I wonder what he's actually going to be going for. I can't really think. Maybe he's just saving up until he can get more pop cap. Maybe the pop cap is the limiting factor at the moment. Maybe he wants to get another priest out on the field. And I wouldn't doubt it, 3 priests is going to help a lot in terms of anti-everything. Just destroying their defensive lines. So strafing, or not strafing run, a recon run going across the field, just revealing what's going on here. And that looks like, to me, a creeping barrage. Oh, right along the straight line. These guys completely unaware of the approaching barrage of shells, clearing out all the packs. The MGs just watching the show unfold in front of them, not even giving a care that 2 packs were just destroyed in front of them. Stand your ground! Much? Okay, but the Wehrmacht taking a lot of casualties right now. They're trying to depend on the Stugs. Stugs at a Vet 3 at the moment by aSIIGhostDivision. So obviously the veterancy is going to help. You can see those armored skirts, those armored plates right along the side there. It's going to help a lot, but I'm not exactly sure if Stugs are going to be the game changer. Stugs are very good tanks, don't get me wrong. They're very good anti-tank tanks, but they lack a little bit towards the later game in several aspects. Not only when it comes to killing infantry, apart from crushing, but their health can actually let them down as well. They also don't have the best of penetrations, and what will happen quite often with them is that they'll bounce off the front armor of, say, a Sherman. Unlike, which is much less common for, say, the Panzer IV, or the Panther, or a Tiger, or a King Tiger. So Stugs are good, but up until a certain point, you can still be successful with them in the late game, as long as you use them properly. Okay, here comes a lot of guys. Strafing run, just barely missing this stuff. Obviously trying to predict their next movement, and they were actually going to head that way. They were going to head that way. But I guess they prolonged it a little bit. And instead, that strafing run just suppressing them, or just... Did it suppress them, or was it the Stags that suppressed them? Didn't even touch them anyway. Didn't even kill anyone. All these guys in retreat now. There's way too many Stags to take on. Notice how they're over repaired as well. So that means that the advanced repairs have been upgraded for sappers here, and that gives them a health bonus that dwindles over time to a threshold. So it's good in keeping these things alive, and even a bigger pain in the ass for the Wehrmacht. Because then you take these things out, but then they got extra health, so it might take like a Panzerschreck, a single Panzerschreck shot before you can even get rid of this white bar, that extra maximum health available to them. More tanks out for the Brits here, so this is definitely looks like the Brits are going for a strategy where they are heavily reliant on vehicles. They are going to be getting lots of armor out on the field. Staghound's obviously replacing the Cromwell command tank. It's really up to your choice what you want to use. Although personally, I feel like depending on this playstyle, if you use a lot of infantry, I think Cromwell command tank is going to be better. Because if you're using a lot of infantry, usually that will be enough to take on other infantry, and then you get Fireflies, and Cromwell command tank definitely helps a lot in increasing their effectiveness, their fire rate. Other thing that you can replace, Kangaroos of the Cromwell, again up to your choosing depending on your strategy, but personally I usually just keep it on the Cromwell. That's what I find to do. Usually when I need to call out a Cromwell onto the field, it's a pushing unit, so I try to get it as fast as possible, tech up fast as possible. And that will be its effectiveness as a pushing unit. Usually later on, if it's going to be against like a Panther, it won't be as effective. But that early push is always good. Another recon run coming down just to see where the things are. And I guess BF3 endgame. Was he going to be calling down some sort of artillery? Maybe he didn't spot anything. Stug's moving because they realize, we might have been spotted. And plus it doesn't help the fact that we're all in a line asking for a creeping barrage. Alright, Stag over here, about to get totally countered against four Stugs. 2 Fireflies moving on up though, to provide it a bit of support. Oh dear, damaged engine. They're still not going to engage though, because they realize it's getting a bit too far away from us. It's behind a gigantic hedgerow, and it's also heading towards their lines, which means they're going to have support. So no point of even engaging that one. 282 for the Wehrmacht right now. 345 for the Allies. Still no clear-cut winner. We're nearing the end of this replay. Still no clear-cut winner. You have all these tanks out on the field. All of these tanks out on the field. These guys moving on up here. And the Brits going to be possibly relocating. This is their move. They're going to be trying to go for it here. Overwatch coming on down. Or, God, is that the right word? Oh, man. Why do I feel like it might not be Overwatch? Oh, this is going to frustrate me. But this ability, yes, this great ability at countering infantry turns them into mashed potatoes if it actually gets a direct shot. Just protects this entire area, this entire circle that it has an effect on. Not just this small little circle, but around it as well. Tiger out on the field by aSIILineStardust. This is meant to be some sort of counter. You've got all these vehicles in chase of the Wehrmacht's retreating units. One Pioneer looking like it went down there. Cromwell or Crocodile Sherman trying to move on up and harass. Staghound's going to be following in behind it. And what's going to come out of this? Well, oh man, it just looks like a lot of harassing. Lucky for the Wehrmacht, they got all of these Panzerschrecks, tons to dish out damage. Look at that! Near enough. Yeah! An entire volley from... one volley from all 3 squads. Taking out the Staghound instantly, even though it had the health bonus. And that is the Crocodile gone as well. Yeah, out of control. So making quick work out of all of that stuff. Over on the right hand side, we still got these Stugs, which are afraid, essentially, of what the Brits have on the field. 3 Stugs versus 2 Fireflies. It's going to be a difficult sort of match. You got some raging going on in the chat, unfortunately. getting a little bit heated on up here. Priests in position and ready to start firing. I guess it's just coming to that point, isn't it? It's just coming to that point where they've pushed in on their opponent so much that back here, they're not going to be able to hit him. They need to start moving up forward. King Tiger also out in the field, so we not only had a tiger, but also a King Tiger. I think that tiger's already dead, if I think right. Goliath also out in the field. That tiger's already dead. King Tiger out right now. And that is the Fireflies coming on forward. I love what the Brits are doing. Pretty much just over-repairing their vehicles. When they have nothing else to do, they're just over-repairing them. Just making sure that they have the max amount of health. Because each shot makes a big difference. I mean, look at that. If they didn't have the over-repair, this Firefly would be out right now. Another missed strafing run. How frustrating indeed. How frustrating indeed. He keeps on predicting that the Wehrmacht will move in a linear fashion forward. But it never happens. For some reason, the Wehrmacht just stops a little bit short. Unfortunate for the Allies here. But it doesn't really matter. We've got a lot of damage being dealt to the Stugs and also the King Tiger. It's already almost dead. Artillery being dropped right on top of it right now. One Stug going down. Another one badly damaged. Artillery pounding away at this King Tiger over here. It's retreating on back. But that's it! That was the last barrage. The last shell to crash on down and damage it. Oh dear. No, 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 no! That is not what you want to do! That is a teamwork micro fail. Goliath was meant to hit the tanks of the Brits, and that would have definitely helped, especially like right in the kisser between these two. Take out a Firefly and possibly another one, or at least badly damage it. But instead, being used against him, damaging his Stug. Yeah, that is the Wehrmacht free of guys. And we've got a breakdancer now. Look at him as he flies around the map, boomerang style. Damn, that is some wicked twists. That is some wicked twists. We've seen some wicked guys this match. We've seen men airborne with their heads attached inside of holy fuck. Holy shit! Woo! That was crazy! Oh my god. Yeah. We were talking about how that was good anti-infantry. That was, that's why. You got nothing but paste left of the men on the field. Wow. This has been definitely a strange match with the infantry. We've had airborne with their heads literally attached to tanks. We've had breakdancing grenadiers flying, doing the whirlwind. What do they call it? A windmill. They've been doing the windmill like crazy across the map. Wow. Those guys were torn to pieces. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Wow. Wow, we were. Definitely some crazy moments here. Where did the Wehrmacht go wrong? Well, they definitely went right in the beginning. That's very, very pushing and aggressive what they were doing. That was exactly what they should have done. And I liked how they kept on capping locked on the right-hand side. Unfortunately, it's hard to put down an exact finger of where they went wrong later on. I guess it's the fact that so many Staghounds came out on the field, and maybe they had so much infantry. More tanks would have been nice. Panthers, for example. Something more heavily reliant on being powerful. So, like, Panthers would have been absolutely excellent. But instead, the Brits making a comeback with all of these priests, tons of Staghounds, and people hate Staghound spams. And it seems like the Brit, if anything, made the big game changer there, if any, for the Allies. Americans were still on the field. Their airborne was decent enough, but they weren't really doing a whole lot. You can see them throwing satchel charges. You can see them trying to put down strafing runs, but they weren't killing a whole lot. That was definitely the Brits' game right there. He would have gotten the majority of the points. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and until next cast, I will catch you all later.
Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. No.